What's good with y'all boys, man? We back with another One Piece discussion video, bro. You know what I'm saying? 1173. Now look, I'm kind of excited to talk about this chapter because this chapter is piggybacking off of the last video I made, kind of in a way. We're going to be talking mainly about the Gunko shit that happened in this chapter. We'll talk about the shit with Sommers and Zoro and all the other stuff that happened in this chapter too, the little stuff, as the video goes on. But for the most part, that's what we're finna be talking about, especially because the last video I just made, like I said, was theorizing shit about Gunko. It's like my future sight was activated, my nigga. I felt like the next chapter was gonna get into the Gunko shit, and he did a little bit, right? Now let's just get straight into it. We get it revealed in this chapter. Brook starts going after Gunko and trying to figure out where the fuck she went, but then he says something very interesting. He calls her Princess Shuri, and he says she has to be Princess Shuri. He looks just like her, but it can't possibly be her due to her age, right? He said if she was alive, she would have been nearing 80 years old by now. And of course she wouldn't recognize me that much. So first things first, let me get finished with their dialogue first. We also figure out here that Brook says he hoped to have gone the rest of his life without ever having to think about Gunko again, right? Because the man who he owed everything to, Gunko took his life, allegedly. Now, y'all know how One Piece is, or propaganda. We gotta learn to not believe none of the original propaganda that is spread at One Piece, right? Now, let's get into this. Gunko is a princess. We have that confirmed. We knew she was like of Holy Night relevance in some. Oh, I said Holy Night of Holy Land relevance in some way before this chapter. So that's not really anything new. Her having a connection to the Holy Land, but Princess Shuri. Okay, so she's a princess. We have that confirmed. So now, this kind of leads to my theory a little bit in the last video where I said maybe she could have some connection to the Nefertari Vivi family or the Nefertari Lily family, whatever the fuck, due to her blue hair and her being a fellow person, a part of the Holy Land, a part of the Maynard family, if you will, one of the 13 families. Even though I still don't believe that, I told y'all in my last video, I believe the Maynard family or Gunko is specifically a descendant of the Nefertari branch, or maybe the Maynard family is just a descendant of the Nefertari branch, right? I told y'all in my last video, that's what I believe. And this chapter kind of puts a little more, makes me believe that a little bit more, but we still don't really have it confirmed. Brook says her distinct features like her blue hair and connected to the Holy Land, or her mismatched eye color is identical to Princess Shuri. And then Imu tries to take her over again, right? And she tells Brook that Brook has to run, and she unleashes, well, she lets go of her like arrow power, and it frees the kids, and it starts turning the kids backwards the other way, I believe, and it frees Brook. But then Imu takes back over, and she's like, are you trying to move at your own will? And then Gunko just starts like screaming out in pain because I guess Imu's taking back over or just doing something to Gunko's body or whatever. And then Gunko goes to attack Brook, and he blocks the attack with the shield. Now, Brook blocking this attack kind of nuts because I'm assuming Conquerors is coming off this bitch. Because I'm seeing a little black lightning spike here. It's kind of nuts that he's blocking this. I wouldn't expect this nigga to have no real fight with Imu next chapter or Gunko next chapter. Nothing like that of the sort. Maybe like while he's trying to block off and fend attacks or dodge attacks, they have a little bit more of a dialogue for the most part, right? I'll probably do a prediction video on Sunday because if I can get this out quick enough, I'll do a prediction video Sunday for y'all niggas. So we'll talk more about predictions later. But this Gunko and Brook shit is very interesting. And I'm glad Brook wasn't confirmed to be a Holy Knight. I didn't want Brook to be a Holy Knight, right? And we kind of knew he already wasn't because we got it confirmed that he was a leader of a battle convoy. But there was still some people holding out hope that he could potentially be a Holy Knight. But I didn't really want that to happen, in my opinion, right? So let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this Gunko shit. Like, we're getting a little bit more of an unlocked, but we don't really have still too much to go off of. But let me know in the comment section what y'all think, right? Now, as for the other things in this chapter, we have Usopp's group. We have Sanji nearing Usopp's group. I also believe this means, or this is alluding or setting up, Sanji gonna fight Sommers because Sanji gets to Usopp's group, and Robin is still the only one with the arrows, with the thorns tied up around her. All the other crew is free now. So that's probably going to lead to Sanji being like, oh, why can't Robin get free? And it's going to probably lead him, setting him up to fight Sommers. Also, speaking of that nigga Sommers, he out here selling the fucking bag, my nigga. So the giant Nika thing got Gokaku sovereignty by the three generals, Rodo and all them other little niggas who be fucking with Loki or whatever. Not fucking with Loki, that'd be fucking with Hydrogen, my fault. So Sommers was finna the Nika was finna fall on him, and Sommers knocked it away. But it fell on the ship that they were taking the kids on. So now the ship to take the kids on is fucking broken. So now that puts a wrench in the government's fucking plan. And we have my nigga Zoro. My nigga Zoro came in here. We got a new Zoro name to attack this chapter. My nigga do nothing too crazy, but he kind of did what people thought he was going to do. You know what I'm saying? He came in here. He made Dory and Brock attack each other, whether it was on purpose or accident. It looks like he died as an attack after calling out their names. They try to swing at Zoro. He falls down in between the middle of them. Dory and Brock slash each other like a callback to Little Garden or some shit. But all in all, this chapter was pretty solid. It was definitely better than last week, because last week was real life just set up. But good news is, just like last week, we don't have a fucking break. So we can get into some real good shit potentially next chapter. Whether it's, speeding along more to the setup shit. Even though I do feel like the setups are kind of moving decently fast. It's not moving too slow here. But, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know we ready to get back into the juicy aspects of what this arc got to offer, right? But like I always said, bro, my question still is, what the fuck is Usopp gonna do with this arc? Nigga, we looking like we might get a potential. Ain't no potential. We finna get a second layer to Brook's backstory. What is what fucking focus is my nigga Usopp getting, bro? This ain't your arc, gang. This ain't your arc, bro. Just it's okay. It's okay. Maybe he'll have the next one or some shit. Usopp fans, if you're an Usopp fan watching this video, my nigga, let me fucking know. Right? But as for this Gunko shit, I definitely don't think Gunko killed Brooks, the man Brook looked up to. I definitely think it was more so something like Brook knew Gunko, yada yada yada. And then some shit happened with the Gorosei or Imu possessing her, or her being told by Imu that she has to do something, or maybe even being framed by Imu in a similar manner to like how the government have framed other people before for killing people, right? But considering the fact that this was a person that Brook cared about, I'm gonna go under the assumption here that the person that Gunko killed, also, I don't think if I said this, the person Gunko killed was her father, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? If I'm not mistaken, it doesn't say it in these translations that I'm looking at right here, but some translations I saw earlier, if I'm not mistaken, it said the person Gunko killed was her own dad, and that was the person Brook owed everything to, he felt like, or whatever. So I also do not think, I think Gunko was controlled basically to do that, because as we see in the other fucking chapter where Gunko's like calling out and crying and saying the words father when we thought she was calling Brook father, that was probably her crying when she had to kill her own dad or whoever this quote-unquote father figure Brook is referring to here. And now that makes a lot more sense, because people were speculating like the whole Brook and Gunko daughter connection. In all honesty though, if Brook had a daughter, my nigga, he probably wouldn't leave her, so that make a lot more sense as well. But Gunko more likely got controlled by Imu, or that was probably like when the possession first started of her killing her father, and Brook probably didn't really get the full explanation of that, because Gunko probably started being a piece of shit and turning evil, because that was when the corruption started. So that's probably why that happened. And another reason why I feel like the story is gonna go different, or who knows, maybe Gunko might have actually did something. Maybe her dad was a piece of shit and she had to kill him, like how Harold was. And it's kind of like the opposite, because you gotta think, we just got done seeing a Loki fucking flashback where he had to kill his dad. Now Gunko's killing somebody who were believed to be her dad or father figure in a way, or whatever. Like I said, I'm not sure if these translations are right or whatever, but oh well. And I feel like the fact, if Oda got two things like that going on in the same arc, they go contrast each other or parallel each other in some weird way, whether it's like you're showing the differences of the situations or the similarities in certain ways. So the Gunko shit is definitely gonna have more layers to it. She definitely did not just outright kill that nigga just cause. It's definitely some government corruption shit going on. Or maybe the dad was like the opposite of Harold and he was doing literally anything to kiss up to the government at all times, and Gunko just wasn't having it. Maybe that's what it was. Who knows? Definitely interested to see how that goes about though. Now as for Brook, do y'all think Brook's gonna get a power up this arc since he is getting this main focus? I kind of want to say yeah. And the only reason why I'm gonna say yes is because people already been making connections to Brook's power being similar to Holy Knight's in a way, like how he has the ice power and Nosjuru has the ice power. How, of course, the Holy Knights seem to be undead individuals with those contracts and getting summoned on the pentagram, and then everyone's made the connection with Brook getting summoned by those people at the time. So even though he didn't really get summoned, he got teleported there by Kuma, and they thought they summoned Brook. But y'all know what I'm talking about, bro. The connections have been there with Brook and the Holy Knights and this Emu and their powers. The way their powers work the connections are there. They've been there for a little minute. So I wouldn't be surprised if this nigga ends up getting something this arc. Nothing too crazy. I don't think Brook is gonna get anything too fucking crazy. Maybe we see a Devil Fruit awakening. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like towards the end of this arc, because definitely this tells me 100% Gunko's gonna get flipped or she's gonna get saved. What, she's gonna get saved now or get saved towards the end of the story type beat, right? Maybe the Straw Hats lose here or something, and Gunko, like maybe they're very close to getting Gunko back, but then she gets off again, Emu got her in the grasp again, and then now Brook is not also motivated to only see Laboon, but he also wants to get Gunko back, so that just drives it more home at the end of the story. So more shit for another Straw Hat to have importance at the end, which I wouldn't be mad at. But it's also a very good chance that Gunko gets turned this arc. If she gets turned this arc like back with us and just she can't be possessed by Emu anymore, that would be weird to me, because I'm gonna wonder how. But I know how it's gonna play a part in Brook's music. That's why I said Brook could potentially get awakening at the end of this arc, maybe. If his fruit can't even do that, we're gonna assume it can, because we haven't heard anything about any fruit not being able to do that. Even though I have zero clue what Brook's awakening would be. So if anybody in the comment section has made it this far in the video and they have any ideas what his awakening could be, comment, because that's very interesting. Brook is one of those few fruits in the series where I can't really think of what an awakening would be for him, to be honest. But whatever it is, whether it's awakening or it's just some other shit unlocking in Brook that he just gets as a power up, it's gonna play a role in Gunko flipping or just helping Gunko fight back from this Emu shit, right? Because like I said, it's a chance Gunko just doesn't get flipped now and like we say every till the end of the story type of vibe. But y'all know how it is with princesses and the Straw Hats, bro. Anytime we meet a princess, we probably gonna save them. And no, I'm not really mad if we save Gunko here, although I do think it would make for a better, more tension and better for the story if we kind of fail to save her here and we have to get her later, like throughout the final war and all that shit. But considering the fact that Elbaf is set up for the final war, Gunko could be used here to relay a lot of information about the Holy Knights and about Emu that we don't know, to the Straw Hats at least, because we know Dragon knows about them, but for the Straw Hats specifically, Gunko could be used for that. After we flip her, or after we get her back on our side, or after we drive Emu's possession out of her, maybe that's when she starts giving us all the information at the end of this arc, and that's when we get like a lore dump on her and like Holy Land shit and more, a little bit of more Emu lore. Who fucking knows? I would love if that happens, but you know what I'm saying, we just gotta have to wait. I'm gonna probably do a prediction video. I'm gonna probably record it tomorrow and try to get it up by Sunday, because it's currently Friday. Well, it's like 4 in the morning on Saturday when I'm recording this, but I'm gonna try to post this Saturday too, though, still before the day is over with. But love y'all niggas, man. This was a quick video. I kind of was just going off the dome, just yapping about the fucking chapter. Like I said, the main thing I want to talk about was just Brook and Gunko shit. The other shit was Zoro fighting the Giants for a couple seconds, and the shit with Sandwich at the end really wasn't that important to me. I mean, of course it's important because it's setting up shit in the story, but yeah, hopefully we see Luffy and Loki next time. I'll probably talk about that next video. Love y'all boys, and I'm out, bruh. Peace.